Hello guys and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. This is not how I planned on starting my episode. I was just passing through here getting ready to record and I saw this. I was wondering how on earth this happened. It couldn't have been a creeper, maybe it was another player, but you know, this is Hermitcraft, no one's going to come around and grief your base. And then I went outside and I saw this and it kind of made sense to me. I think there's been a fire that somehow managed to spread inside it as well as out here. And you know what, I don't know how that fire started. I don't use fire as decoration, but I am very fortunate that this didn't spread around the whole of my base, because look at it, it's all a forest and that could have been disastrous. So count your blessings. And one thing people might suggest is that it was lightning. Now when lightning strikes and it makes a fire animation, it's just an animation, that's what I've been told. Maybe that's something for myth busting right there, because I don't know, I can't really confirm it, but that's what I've been told. It's not actually a fire, it's just the animation. So the place that I wanted to start my episode was down here, because I've been working on the chicken farm, and some of you have seen that I've been experimenting in the nether. You've probably seen that in other people's videos. That kind of got out of hand, and what I want to do is actually replace the chicken farm that I built with something useful, and then people are going to have a vote and see if they want to keep it there or not. But I'll show you that in a minute. It's just over there, and that's not my design, by the way. We'll talk about that in a moment. This chicken farm that I was using right here, I was actually building something else in the area, which I'm going to show you later on in the episode. And I thought that what I was building was causing me lag, and it turns out I completely forgot that all the chickens up the top would have been continuously adding more into this section right here. And when I finally realised it, I harvested them and chicken went flying in all directions. It was so funny. I must have got about 10 stacks of raw chicken out of it. So I took this apart, and when I was taking apart the top bit as well, I foolishly broke the block there trying to replace it with another one, and all the chickens went flying everywhere. It was really funny. I had to run around killing them all, and I was thinking, do you know what, I might do that in a contained environment at some point. Just build a big pit and then put a load of chickens in the middle, let them build up over time, and when you unleash them it's really funny just to see them go flying everywhere. So anyway, enough about that. This design right here is by Wooltec MC. There'll be a link in the description box. Go check out his video, because this is the best chicken farm that I have seen. I've been looking for a lot, and he actually sent me this a couple of weeks ago, I think, and I just hadn't got round to building it, and when I finally did, it's brilliant, and there's actually a chance we get to see it in action right now. I could force that, because all of these chickens are grown up now. In fact, we're going to do that. I just need to grab a few more eggs and we can see that in action. There should be some around here. You're going to let me open that? No? That one? Oh, please don't tell me I've disconnected from the server. Okay, there we go. Just a bit of lag, that was all. Okay, let's see this in action. Just got to put those in there. And there you go. They're all burning to death. All of their drops get sucked into the chest below, and all these new chickens are being hatched. It's absolutely awesome, this design, and it's so compact as well. Look at this. Now I've got to point out that we are in 04A still, and when we go to 05A this is probably going to get broken, but I think it's possible to fix it actually, because it relies on this comparator providing constant updates to the dispenser, and that's been removed in 05A. But I think there's another way around that, but we'll talk about that later. So the way that this works, I want to give you an explanation, because I really like how the redstone works on this. We have 50 seeding chickens up the top. They are going to provide a natural timer for when to harvest the chickens below by them laying eggs and then filtering down into this dispenser here. So this comparator is taking the amount of items in that dispenser into account, and it's not outputting a signal because it's comparing it to the strength of this one on the side here, so that's keeping that turned off. And when this dispenser finally fills up, it's then going to power the block in front of it, which has the torch that compares it. So it's not until this stops giving an output signal that this then turns back on. So when it does that, it powers this block and powers the redstone below, which then powers the repeater, powers that block, and that's going to dispense all of the eggs that are in there because of this comparator providing constant updates. It's basically a clock, that one there. So at the moment that that happens, all of that I just excuse me. At the moment that that happens, what I just described, the dispenser on the left here will also get set off, because on this side there is a monostable circuit which gets activated when this one here is powered, and then that just releases this lava bucket just for a moment so it can burn all of those adult chickens, and then they burn to death when the new ones are being hatched. So it's absolutely brilliant. It's really compact. It's got some seeded chickens, it's got a timer built into it, and it's just brilliant. I really like the design, and yeah, do go check out Wooltec MC's video because he deserves some credit for this design, and it's going to get modified in the latest snapshot to make it work. But my plan was to go around and build this at a few different locations, one of them being the Nether, because I want to put this in the shopping area and see if people like it. So if you remember a few episodes ago, Generic put in a complaint about all the chickens in the Nether. Well, I'm going to go remove all of the ones that were there and replace it with this, which is far more useful, and I think people are going to like this. We said when I put it in place, people can come along and have a vote. But as well as building just the one in the Nether, I'm going to build some at spawn as well. We've got enough here to build 5, and you'd be surprised, putting all these materials together and crafting all this stuff does take a bit of time, and I realised that the eggs are going to be a bottleneck as well. I'm going to have to take several trips back and forth so we can get enough to fill up each of these, but I'm going to be building 1 in the Nether, 3 at spawn at the beginning area, the middle where all the new houses are, and the end where the build off is. And then the other place that I want to build one of these is over at the Goon Squad's Nether portal, because all 3 of them share that, and I figured it's a pretty good place since there's 3 of them passing through all the time, so I build them this as a little present. And the other thing that I want to mention just before I set off is that a while ago I uploaded the bonus episode where I build the agency headquarters, and a lot of people left messages saying that they didn't see the episode turn up in the feed, and I did annotate the next few videos with links to it, so there'll be an annotation on this video right now. If you just turn your annotations on and click that, then that'll take you to the episode. And the reason why I think it didn't turn up for some people is because I uploaded it a long time ago, so yeah, I think there's a problem with the dates, but yeah, just turn on the annotations and it will take you to that episode. So here it is, it's finished, it's in place. I actually wanted to put it over here, which I thought would have looked really nice. We could have had the walls wrapped round to the middle and then have the farm right there, but then I saw that this was an even amount of blocks wide, and then that meant that I couldn't do it, so I put it on the side here because these are an odd width and it fits in quite nicely there. I think I'll come back with some more materials and just brighten it up at another time. Maybe some nether quartz pillars just there would look good. But anyway, I was horribly unprepared for this, like I always am. I say horribly, I just forgot to bring glass with me and lava buckets as well, so I had to head over to Biffa's base to fill those up, and he was kind enough to give me some glass as well. But this thing is now ready to go. It does actually need some more chickens, and I borrowed some eggs from Biffa. I used up all of the ones that I brought with me, and I even gathered some more from over there in the Nether where all the chickens are at the moment, and still don't have enough. We need about another 5 in there to get it running optimal, so I'm thinking that I don't really want to be spending my time running back and forth carrying eggs around, so I'm going to build 1 more of these over at the Goon Squad's base. I think it would be useful for them as they're just starting out. They might find a good supply of a good supply of food useful. And the other thing is that this does make a lot of noise. There's 50 chickens up there, and it's right below our agency complaint centre, so I'm thinking that we should let people take a vote on this before we go and build a load of them at spawn. I don't mind taking this down if people think the noise is too annoying, so I'm going to go over and build 1 at the Goon Squad's base, and then we'll head back to Avalon. Here we are at the Desert Temple. This is the home of the Goon Squad. Now I was about to say Jucetra, and you'll probably hear me say that a lot. I think that's just going to stick. It is Justra, but I don't know, when I saw his name written down I said Jucetra in my head and it's kind of stuck. So I had a look around here a little bit. I saw a torch up there. I went up there, but that doesn't lead to anything, so I've got no idea where Schism and Pungence are, but I think they all use this portal here, so I decided I would put it behind the Nether portal since they usually go that way. I should probably put up a sign. I'll probably put one here saying look behind for chickens, just in case they don't hear it. And yeah, that's it. It's just the same as the other one. There's 50 chickens in there, so now I can head back to Avalon. We're back at last. I fixed up this bit here, and you know what? I've got to stop doing stuff like so far away from my base. It's so annoying. I always forget things, go back and forth, and what seems like something that should take me a couple of hours takes a hell of a lot more. I removed some of the logs out here, by the way, and some of the leaves have started decaying, and it made me realise that the one big tree that we had here was perfect. It kind of went across to this side and across that way as well, which is what we want to get when we redo this. I'll probably do that off camera sometime, because at the moment I want to go show you what it is I've built, but we might not have as much luck getting a really nice tree in that position again. So what I wanted to build, you see I've been working with the chickens and getting myself a nice supply of cooked chicken. I also want to get myself a nice supply of cooked beef as well. And these compact animal breeders, I mean they're good, they're really good for like minimal resources and stuff, but there's one other type of breeder that I've been meaning to check out for a long time. I think it was Generic B who got sent this video by someone. He kind of exposed it and showed how cool the idea was, and it's this thing over here, the compact animal breeder. Now after I built this, my game was lagging a lot and I was wondering if it was because of the cows or was it because of all these hoppers, and these things don't work anymore, by the way. That's in the latest snapshot though, so at the moment they do work, but that's just an item elevator. But I thought these things down here were causing the lag because basically I'm using these hoppers like pipes, and it turns out that it was actually the chickens over there. And I guess some of you know why I'm using these wheat fields. It's because the bone meal thing has changed, so until I build myself a proper farm for that, I'm going to use these for now. So the way that this compact... What did I call it a minute ago? So I had to watch the footage back there. I did call it a compact animal breeder, that's what the other one's called. And this one is called the poor man's breeder. And the reason why is because it's incredibly simple to set up. In fact, all you need is like dirt really. You don't even have to use fancy blocks like this. The main concept is that you have some water in the middle there, and I'll tell you what, I'll show you it now. We do this and we just divide up the cows. Some are going to go this way, some are going to go that way, and you can breed them between the gaps here, so you can spend your time breeding them in intervals and filling all of this up. So what happens when it goes over to this side is up to you. What I've done is made a simple trap. It's actually going to be a little bit difficult to show you without messing things up, because look, the cows have wandered over here. But basically, when I hit the switch for this, it's going to retract. You can just see there's a sticky piston there. It's going to retract that, and below there is a lava cooker. And when the cows fall down, they land on a pressure plate which pushes them into lava, and below the pressure plate and under the lava as well are some hoppers, and then they transfer the items. Now this item elevator is a bit dodgy, and I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, the drops have got backed up there. So up the top here I've got a chest. Oh, if it's going to let me go up there. And I've been getting a ton of stuff from doing this. You can see loads and loads of it, and I just come over here every so often and breed them all and keep the numbers up. So what I want to do with this now is work on the scenery around it. I've built that, and I've been thinking about where I want to put my wheat farm as well. We're going to extend the pathway around the side here. It's going to follow these trees here. We're going to have some other stuff on the other side. Then when we come over to this bit here, I think what I want to do is put more trees across here so it's nice and enclosed, and then maybe just at the end here we can dig under this hill and build some sort of wheat farm using the new bone meal stuff. But I'm going to wait until 1.5 before I do... Yeah, I'm getting all my words slurred up. I'm going to wait until 1.5 I think before I start doing more redstone-y stuff, because a lot of it breaks at the moment with each snapshot. So yeah, I want to wait for that reason. It looks like an Enderman's taken a block from there. So I want to put some trees just across the back here that are going to hang over the top of this to make it nice and enclosed, and another reason we want to do that is to contribute to the view that we have from over here. We want to be able to look out and not see the machine over there, so I'm going to be working on that. Okay, let me show you the progress. Some nice grass and pumpkins for lighting around here. Put some in the ground on this side as well. What I think I want to do is build up some trees over here, although actually this is probably going to branch off to Shaun the Sheep's little shrine. Is he still there? Ah, he's got some friends. Now if you remember earlier I was telling you that the chickens escaped and had to go around attacking them. Well, it looks like a few of them made their way into here. Quite a few actually. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 11 of them made their way into there. I'll tell you what, I think Shaun wants some company, so they can stay in there for now. So over here, more of the same. The grass just comes around to this side. I've lowered down this by half a block because you're actually going to find it a lot easier to breed them just walking across like that. I forgot there was a hole there. And I've done the trees behind them as well. Now what I want to do next with these is actually something that I do very rarely, is build a false branch out here and put my own leaves above it so it covers more of the area above us right now. And so as well as that, I've also been working on some of the redstone down here. What we had before didn't really work properly, so I gave it some thought and I got something that does work. I just need to grab a couple of repeaters and I'll show you why. First of all, that really needs to be a repeater. But basically we have a very simple clock. When we power this, we're going to bring the circuit back round to turn it off, which then means the thing turns on again, so that creates a pulse. And then we have this override here, so this is stopping any pulse from happening by keeping it like this. And then when we detect items in this bottom dropper, it's going to turn that off, and then this is going to turn back on. And so we power this block here, which powers that, and we just send the signal up like that to power these two. Now the flaw with this is, if I put in some items here, and I think the chest at the top is full as well, we don't need that many to show you. So as soon as that's empty, this thing stops, and it means some get left in there and some gets left in there as well. So that's why I need to add a few repeaters, just so that it keeps blinking for long enough for all the items to make their way up into the chest up top, which at the moment is full, so I need to empty that when I test it as well. So I'll be fixing that up. That shouldn't run into any problems with that. That should be solid. And then I'm going to do this bit up the top here as well. So I think that looks alright. It does look a little bit forced, but yeah, it does look random. It looks like it's randomly generated, which is what I like. We didn't have that bit there a moment ago. I've also grown a tree up at the height up there rather than on the grass. I put the dirt block where that wood log is and grew a tree there, but it didn't really add too much to this. So I don't know, I guess I'd like more of an overhang, but it isn't really my thing building trees, so I think I'll probably leave that for now. And what I did plan on doing was build a sort of segment with the trees and the fence posts like we have here and all around the place between that point and this point here, which is what I'm going to do next, so I'll be building that in a moment. But I ended up working on this one around here. I really like this. I put in some wheat, so there's a bit of a change. I want to put some more flowers down over in this bit here, and actually maybe around the place, because I don't have a lot of flowers alongside the path. But back here is where it's going to split off and go in that direction, so there's another path that can lead to another area. And then over here I have tried to put a gravel path going this way. It didn't really work out, so I think I'll give it another go. Sometimes things look a little bit ugly when they sort of branch off close to this path, because then the path becomes quite big in the middle and it doesn't look right. But I'll play around with that, see if I can get that to work. And so then we can come over here to the shrine for Shaun the Sheep. And I'm going to be removing all of these wheat fields as well. They were just temporary, and we're going to be building something behind the I keep forgetting what I call it, segment or the divide that we're going to be building with the trees from there over to here. So here it is. The divider looks pretty good, and this gravel path right here, I thought it would take me a while and I actually got it pretty quickly. I think before I was making it too wide. And once you've got the divider in here as well, it makes a lot more sense the way it branches off, so it looks good now. And then over here it's the same thing as usual. And that low rumbling noise, these cows do really make a lot of noise, and I'll tell you what, breeding them is brilliant now, because all you got to do is walk across like this. Oh, provided you don't have an ender chest in your way, I'll remove that at some point. And none of the wheat gets wasted as well, it only gets used on cows that can breed. And yeah, that's just really efficient, that is. So down the end here, I've carved a little entranceway here, so if we are going to put our underground wheat farm in there at some point, then that's ready for that. And this is just temporary, of course. If we were going to have a proper entrance, we'd build something nice here, and there's plenty of room for it. And so the next thing that I want to show you is suggested to me by a friend who I talked to on my channel's Facebook account, and that is a wishing well, and here it is right here. Now that is a real contrast to what's around it, but I think it looks cool. The nether quartz textures are lovely, and they kind of do all the work for you, you know. All you got to do is build with them, and they pretty much make anything look good. Because this structure, imagine if I built it out of cobblestone, it would look pretty lame. But then I think a lot of stuff does if you use cobblestone too much now. So this new texture is nice, and I put some snow down in front of it because I felt like this was very contrasting to the greenery around it, and it being very white, maybe some snow would go along with it, but the white of the snow is even brighter, and I think it's more of a contrast, so I might not do that. But my thoughts were we could have the snow going all the way up to the end, to the edge, and then have a sort of divide between the grass and the snow, and just have that encapsulated in this little circle area here, which I'm going to extend by adding a few more trees on top of that, and then a few here as well, so we'll have another divider, and then this path will just curl around the corner and go up to the village. There's probably not going to be too much room for anything else on this side. So what I want to do at the moment is take some time to just build or think and try and find something that goes alongside the quartz but can kind of help it mix with all the greenery that we've got here. So maybe something special. I really don't know what that's going to be, but hopefully something that just makes it, fit together. Okay, I think this works. I put down stone. I was looking at it, and stone goes next to grass okay. You see that naturally, so you're kind of used to that, and it goes well next to quartz as well. And by having just a stone area around it, it does make it stand out, but it doesn't contrast as much, which is exactly what I was looking for. Now you can also see there's some levers on top of there, and as I was walking away it occurred to me a way that we could actually make them a little more discreet. So if we just had one and plop down some redstone, we shouldn't be able to see the redstone from down below. So let's just do that now. Hope I brought enough. Yeah, that's got to be enough surely. I can even just power the block next to it like that and it will work. So I can save myself some redstone there. Yep, I'll have those 2 bits back, thank you. So if we go down the bottom now, it's possible you might be able to see the lever from afar, which you can, but yeah, that's a lot better. So that was a great suggestion from Dominic. I think having a wishing well here on Avalon is perfect, and we are really making some progress now with our little forest project. I love this, having the windy paths through the forest. I think it looks great, and we should end this episode by actually using this and making a wish. So 8 is my lucky number. I'm going to sacrifice some diamonds here, so make a wish. And thank you for watching. I will catch you next time.